Hey guys, welcome to my channel or welcome back. In today's video, I'll be talking about pronoun antecedent agreement. So for starters, what is a pronoun? Pronouns replace nouns, and a noun is a person, place, or thing. In the sentence, Sarah is happy because she just got a new dog. Sarah is the noun and she is the pronoun because it replaces Sarah. Also, I realized that pronouns have changed over time. For the sake of this video, I'm just going to do the basic, like referring to a man as a he and a woman as a she. But keep in mind that if a person has their specific pronouns, they can be referred to as such. So people don't have to be referred to as he or she these days, and that's perfectly fine. So here are some examples of pronouns: I, she, he, it, they, them, her, him, his, her, and so on. Also, there's singular pronouns, which means we're just talking about one person, and plural pronouns, which means we're talking about more than one person. So keep that in mind. There are different types of pronouns, but we're just going to focus on the basics for the sake of this video. So what is an antecedent? An antecedent is the noun that the pronoun refers to. In the sentence, I just got a new phone. It has a bunch of cool features. Phone is the noun that the pronoun it refers to. Therefore, that makes phone the antecedent. Next, we'll be discussing pronoun agreement with indefinite pronouns. An indefinite pronoun is a pronoun that doesn't refer to a specific person, place, or thing. Here are some indefinite pronouns: anybody, somebody, everybody, each, anyone, and so on. Indefinite pronouns are considered singular with the exception of the indefinite pronouns that are more than two: both, many, few, several, and so on. Now let's discuss pronoun agreement when it comes to indefinite pronouns. Rule number 1, use singular pronouns when referring to indefinite pronouns. Our first example says everybody is wearing his or her favorite shoes. As you can see, everybody is an indefinite pronoun, so we use his or her, which are singular pronouns. Our next example says nobody on the debate team has turned in his or her assignment. As you can see, nobody is an indefinite pronoun, and his or her are both singular pronouns, and that's why we used his or her. Our third example says each woman is wearing her dress so elegantly. As you can see, each is the indefinite pronoun, so we have to use a singular pronoun, and that's why we used her. Her is a singular pronoun, and we're also referring to a woman, so that's why we use her as opposed to him. Rule number 2, use a singular pronoun when a collective noun refers to a group. Use a plural pronoun when a collective noun refers to a group's members individually. Also, a collective noun is pretty much a noun that you can't count, like team, band, members, group, words like that. So in our first example, we're referring to a group, so that means we would use a singular pronoun. So our example says the team couldn't decide if it wanted to forfeit the game. As you can see, we're referring to the team as a whole, so therefore we would use the pronoun it. In our second example, we're referring to the group's members individually, which means we need to use a plural pronoun. So our example says the team grabbed their shoes before getting off the bus. As you can see, we're referring to the team, so we use their, which is a plural pronoun. In our third example, we're also referring to the group's members individually, so we would use a plural pronoun. Our example says the band played their instruments. As you can see, we're referring to the band, so we use the plural pronoun, which is their. And we're saying everyone in the band played their instruments. We're not talking about the band as a whole. We're talking about every member in the band playing their instruments. This kind of confused me at first, but the more practice you get, it makes more sense. Rule number 3, when a singular antecedent and a plural antecedent are joined by or nor, use a pronoun that agrees with the nearest antecedent. So our first example says the teacher or the students will share their ideas. So since we have to use the pronoun that agrees with the nearest antecedent is students and it's plural, so that means we need a plural pronoun, and that's why we use their. Our second example says the boy nor his parents will walk their dog. The nearest antecedent is parents, which means we need a plural pronoun because parents is plural, and that's why we use their. Rule number 4, use a singular pronoun when referring to 2 or more singular antecedents joined by or nor. Use a plural pronoun when referring to 2 or more plural antecedents joined by or nor. And there will be examples on the next few slides. So in our first example, we're using a singular pronoun when referring to 2 or more singular antecedents joined by or nor. So the first example says the girl or her mom agreed to host her event. As you can see, the girl is a singular antecedent. Her mom is a singular antecedent, so we would have to use a singular pronoun, and that's why we used her. Our next example says Jasmine or Max will buy his food for lunch. As you can see, Jasmine is singular, Max is singular, which means we need to use a singular pronoun, and that's why we used his. In our third example, we're using a plural pronoun when referring to 2 or more plural antecedents joined by or nor. So our example says the ladies nor the men have eaten their dinner. As you can see, the ladies is plural and the men is plural, which means we need to use a plural pronoun, and that's why we use their. Also, don't forget the or nor part because I feel like that part threw me off. So yeah, we use nor, so that also means we need to follow this rule. Rule number 5, which I think is the easiest rule to remember. When there's a compound antecedent joined by and, a plural pronoun should be used. So our first example says Sally and John went on their trip last month. As you can see, we used a compound antecedent, so that means we need to use a plural pronoun, and that's why we use their. Our next example says the lady and her mom settled their differences. As you can see, the lady and her mom is a compound antecedent, so that means we need to use a plural pronoun, and that's why we use their. Also, they're joined by and. That's also why we had to use a plural pronoun. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you found this video informative. If you did find this video informative, please feel free to like, comment, or subscribe, or all of the above, and I'll see you next time. Bye.